I suspect that this amendment will be rejected on procedural grounds, but it shouldn't be because it is highly responsive to a good point made by Mr. Raskin. Mr. Raskin made the point that whatever your view of January 6th, the idea of localizing the entire thing on Ray Epps would seemingly be unfair. And what we saw in the Michigan case is that you saw a dozen federal assets and agents involved in just one small matter. And so I think that the amendment is well-founded to ensure that we are responsive to the Raskin concern that is a legitimate one. And, one thing you kind of notice is that, feds are like cockroaches. You see one outside the walls, there's probably 10 behind the walls that you don't see. And in this particular case, we deserve the truth. The answers about what the federal government's involvement was, as Mr. Massey has correctly chronicled throughout this debate, when the Department of Justice has been given the opportunity to say that nobody associated with the federal government, prompted by the federal government, encouraged by the federal government, working for the federal government, increased the criminal acuity of January 6th, they have demurred in doing so. All they would have to say is nobody associated with the federal government increased the criminal acuity of that day. And I think that a lot more Americans would have comfort that at least on that day, in that moment, assets of their own government weren't weaponized against them. But what we do know is that there were a lot of people who may have committed some technical violation of federal law because they crossed over a barricade that they didn't know had been erected, half an hour, 40 minutes earlier, and then saw their lives destroyed and ruined. And it's quite something to hear, like, the crocodile tears from Mr. Epps on the left, when he is the only person we have direct video evidence was encouraging folks to go inside the Capitol. That's what we need answers on.